residents of rural preservation. Are you reporting on anything historical? Like, would you like to?
No, I'm working on my system.
Well, I make the Boy Scouts get up and
It's in
speak.
here twice.
Is it in here twice?
Yes.
Where?
Clear Lead Agency.
67. Is it? So I got two.
Lead Agency. Yeah, it's the same
Oh, wait,
thing.
let's look at this a little bit. Then I got 273 twice, so look at this. 273. Okay. 4, 2.
All right, just ignore the numbers, I'll change one. The numbers are for me anyway.
And did we scratch off?
Yes, the second one
The
does not
second
need to,
Okay.
the second one on the last page does not need to. You're gonna read that one.
No problem. Which one? 267. The second 273. Can you make sure that everybody else knows that? Not, there's two 273s. The second 273. Here, hand it to me, I'll cross out. Maybe take Floyd's and cross out with me. Go back. I don't see it. So it's 268 and 273. Sure, that's it. Okay. I'm not worried
I don't
about
want you to read it twice,
it. I'm just not worried about it at all.
because I don't want to hear it twice. It literally changed.
Did you, are we live yet? No, but are we? All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town Board meeting for June 25th, 2026. We are at this time continuing the public hearing. The public hearing is for local law number 2 of 2026 entitled Zoning to change the zoning designation of certain real property located at Kings Highway and known as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 from the OI district to suburban medium density. Since our last public hearing, I've received 2 emails from residents. One expressed concerns about traffic safety, while the other asked several questions about the proposal. To clarify, the property would become one single residential lot and cannot be subdivided into additional residential lots. The proposal is for the construction of one split-level 2-family dwelling. The applicant is Highway 3 LLC. Any environmental review will be conducted through the same process required for any new home construction under applicable state and local regulations. I also want to reiterate what the current office industrial zoning permits. Without this zoning change, the property could potentially be developed for uses such as manufacturing, a hotel, business offices, a bowling alley, parking garages, restaurants, quarries, gravel mining, scrap yards, warehouses, or even an outdoor amusement park, among other permitted industrial uses. We strongly believe this property is far better suited for residential use than industrial development. The parcel is already surrounded by residential zoning identical to what the applicant is requesting, and it does not directly adjoin any other office industrial property. In fact, the nearest OI zoned parcel is located on the opposite side of the railroad tracks. For these reasons, I believe this zoning amendment is consistent with the existing character of the neighborhood and represents a more appropriate long-term use for this property. Before I open it back up to the public, I would like to open it up to the board. If you have any questions or comments on this zone change. No? All right, at this time, we'll open it up to the public if there are any questions, comments, or concerns regarding local law number 2. Okay? I make a motion that we close the public hearing for local law number 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is closed. At this time, we will open up public hearing on local law number 3, entitled Amendment of Town Code to include a parcel of real property, SBL 53-1-37.2, within the Agricultural Protection Overlay District. The clerk will read the notice.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will hold a public hearing at 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York, on June 25th, 2026, at 7 p.m. to afford all interested parties the opportunity to be heard regarding introductory local law number 3 of 2026, an amendment of the Town Code to include a parcel of real property, section block and lot 53-1-37.2, within the Agricultural Protection Overlay District. A copy of the proposed amendment is available for review in the Town Clerk's office at 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York, or on the Town of Warwick website, townofwarwickny.org. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard. All written comments must be received by the board at or prior to the public hearing.
Thank you. Local law number 3 would amend the town code to include this tax parcel commonly known as the Ball Farm within the town's Agricultural Protection Overlay District, which is otherwise known as the APO. The Ball Farm recently received site plan approval from the Town Planning Board for a cluster subdivision consisting of 14 single-family homes on approximately 40 acres. Under the approved plan, only 10 acres will be developed for residential use, while the remaining 30 acres will be permanently preserved as open space. The town's planning board held 2 separate public hearings related to this matter. As a condition of the planning board approval, the preserved acreage must be incorporated into the Agricultural Protection Overlay District. This land will be permanently protected through deed restrictions that prohibit future development and encourage its continued agricultural uses. In addition, the developer is required to contribute $2,500 per lot into the town's parkland fund. Those funds will be used exclusively to improve and maintain parks and recreational facilities throughout the town of Warwick. Local law number 4, which is next, establishes the Ball Farm Drainage District. This ensures that all present and future costs associated with stormwater management, drainage infrastructure, maintenance, and watershed protection within the subdivision will be paid for by the property owners in that development, not by the taxpayers of the town of Warwick. I also want to point out that cluster subdivisions are considered a best practice for preserving rural character and open space. Rather than allowing homes to be spread across an entire property, this approach concentrates development on a smaller portion of the site while permanently preserving the majority of the land. It is a planning model used throughout New York and across the country to reduce sprawl, protect farmland, and maintain the scenic character of rural communities. Finally, I want to address the public notices provided for these hearings. The proposed local laws, along with the subject matter, date, time, location of tonight's public hearings, were first introduced at the town board meeting held on May 25th. That meeting was live streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and broadcast on local cable television. By June 10th, the legal notices had been posted on the town's website, displayed on the public bulletin board outside of the clerk's office, and submitted for publication in the town's official newspaper, the Warwick Valley Dispatch. Additionally, I included notice of these public hearings in my weekly Supervisor's Corner, which was published twice in the Warwick Valley Dispatch and once in the Warwick Advertiser. The hearings were also listed on the town board agenda, published on June 11th, providing further public notice of tonight's proceedings. I believe the town has provided extensive public notice and multiple opportunities for residents to become informed and participate in the process. Before we open it up to the public on local law number 3, are there any comments or questions from the board? No? Okay, I would like to open it up to the public on local law number 3, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, or issues. This is going to be your opportunity if anybody has any questions or comments, because we're going to close the public hearing. Do any of our staff have any questions or comments? No? I didn't think you would. All right, as I stated before, adequate notice has been given of tonight's public hearing, and we have received no official comments, nothing to address other than Facebook commentary, which I believe I've addressed in my previous statement. At this time, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing on local law number 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Public hearing's closed. Moving into local law number 4. Let's see. Local law number 4, entitled Proposed Establishment of the Ball Farm Drainage District. The clerk will read the notice.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will hold a public hearing at 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York, on June 25th at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter to afford all interested parties the opportunity to be heard regarding introductory local law number 4 of 2026, entitled Proposed Establishment of Ball Farm Drainage District, a local law proposing establishment and improvement of a drainage district situated at 56 Ball Road, Town of Warwick, and being a portion of premises formerly identified as Section 53, Block 1, Lot 37.2 on the tax map of the Town of Warwick. The maps and plans describing the foregoing improvements is on file in the town clerk's office and are available for public inspection during regular business hours and also on the town's website, townofwarwickny.gov. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard. All written comments must be received by the board at or prior to the public hearing.
Great. I'll just reiterate. Local law number 4 establishes the Ball Farm Drainage District. This ensures that all present and future costs associated with the stormwater management, drainage infrastructure, maintenance, and watershed protection within the subdivision will be paid for by the property owners in that development, not by the taxpayers of the Town of Warwick. This is what is known as a cluster subdivision. This was subject to 2 separate public hearings by the Town Planning Board, and we have provided more than sufficient notice of this public hearing. And as of this moment, I have received 0 official comments, whether by email, phone call, or in person. So before we open it up to the public, I would like to ask the board if you have any comments, questions, or concerns.
No.
Okay, at this time, we'll open it up to the public on local law number 4, if there are any comments, questions, or concerns. Any from the staff? Oh, yeah, a nice try. Okay, at this time, I make a motion that we close public hearing for local law number 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I believe that is it for the public hearings, and at this time, I would like to open up our general town board meeting for the June 25th town board meeting. If you'd all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will the clerk please call roll?
Supervisor Dwyer? Here. Councilman Cole?
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Here.
Councilman Manley?
Here.
Attorney?
Here.
And I noticed that Councilman Schuback is absent.
Thank you. I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes of the June 11th public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes from June 11, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion that we pay all audited bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Correspondence is listed in the board's packets as addendum number 1. Is there any discussion or comments or questions from the board on correspondence?
No.
Okay. We'll move right into boards and department head reports, beginning with Police Chief John Rader.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. There's only a few spots remaining in both sessions of the Junior Police Academy for this summer. For any additional information or registration details for our last-minute entries, please visit www.wpdjpa.com. As schools throughout the town begin summer recess, we encourage all residents to remain alert for children riding bicycles, skateboards, and participating in other outdoor activities. We've received a tremendous response from the community members and organizations interested in participating in National Night Out on Tuesday, August 4th. We're looking forward to another successful event that provides an opportunity for residents and the police department to interact in a positive and fun atmosphere. The Warwick Fire Department annual carnival began last evening and will continue through Saturday with fireworks scheduled after dark. Residents should expect increased traffic in the area of Forester Avenue during this event. And finally, we are participating in the Special Needs Fun Fair this Saturday at the Warwick Valley Community Center from 1 to 4 p.m. We'll be handing out Blue Envelopes, which is a program sponsored by Orange County Clerk Kelly Eskew and Orange County Sheriff Paul Arteta. The envelope is kept in a car and notifies an officer that the driver is on the autism spectrum. There's a space on the front of the envelope for the driver's name, address, emergency contact, information, and any afflictions. There is also a blue sticker that is placed on the back window to further alert the police officer. And we'll continue to promote this program from the police station after the event. That's all I have unless there's any questions from the board.
Did you mention National Night Out? You did?
Yes.
August 4th?
August 4th, 5 to 8 at the Veterans Memorial Park.
Okay, great. Any questions for the chief? No? Great, thank you. DPW Commissioner Astorino. Good evening, Ben.
Okay, we are busy with all of our summer work. We are ditching on East Ridge Road. We vacked all the basins on Panorama Drive. We replaced some culvert pipes, 2 12-inch by 40-foot culvert pipes along East Ridge Road. Our sweeper is out daily. There was a storm last week. We did some tree work. 5 or 6 trees came down. We got them all cleaned up. Road mowing, we have 2 road mowers out daily. Potholes, we are out fixing with hot mix. There was 2 bridge abutments, one on Newport Bridge and one on Waterbury that were fixed. Also, there was a road edge on Belcher Road that we took care of. And always our vehicle maintenance, emergency repairs are done daily, and road signs are put up as needed, and our parks, we're mowing and maintaining them on a daily basis. Questions?
Staying busy.
Always.
Any questions for Ben? No. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Water Sewer Deputy Commissioner McPherson.
Good evening, everyone. I have a short report tonight. We're full swing with summer activities as well. The guys are out collecting quarterly meter readings. We aim to be completed with that by Tuesday of next week. In Greenwood Lake Summer Water, we made a couple repairs, one on Blueberry Hill, one repair on Indian Trail. We also fixed a year-round curb box on Jersey Avenue with the help of the DPW. The guys are also busy with plant maintenance, which includes mowing grass, greasing, changing oil, and as well as building maintenance. For the Pine Island new well, the final steps of this project was posting a notice in the newspaper allowing a 15-day public comment period, which ended today. Being that there was no comments, the DEC has informed us a final permit is typically issued within 1 to 2 weeks from today. We made a couple mechanical repairs at the wastewater plant. Other than that, the plant has run smoothly and within compliance the last month. And other than that, the plants and pump stations continue to be monitored 7 days a week, and regulatory sampling and reporting was done for the month of June.
Great. Any questions for Matt? No. Thanks, Matt. Recreation Director Walter.
Thank you, Supervisor. So we had our ribbon cutting ceremony for the pools yesterday. Thanks for everyone for coming out for that. It was great. If you haven't had a chance to stop by the pools and see the new kiddie pool, you should definitely stop by. It's beautiful. The whole pool complex is something that we should all be super proud of. Pools are open now 7 days a week from 10 to 6 p.m. Our swim lessons start on Saturday. Weather's not looking too great in the morning, but we'll see how it goes. I always make pool closing announcements on Facebook, and now the swim parents have a Team Reach app that they can use as well for swim lessons. But the pools will be busy. There's swim lessons, aquafit, but note that there's always 2 pools available to swim in if something's happening in one of the pools, which is amazing. You can still get your swim passes at the clerk's office. We still have them. I know lots of people are interested, and they saw the post on Facebook, and so they want to come out to the pools. And it's going to get hot real soon. For the rest of the park, we have the Food Truck Fest coming up on July 2nd. That's from 4 to 9. It's $20 for a car of people to get into the festival. That's always a lot of fun. It's a great fundraising event for the community, and it's put on by Small Things in partnership with the town using the park. We also have a few new signs at the park and a few new crosswalks at the park. So if you're looping up the hill around the pickleball courts and the pools, you'll notice caution signs to slow down, because we do have several children's camps happening at the park this summer. And like the police chief said, you know, kids are out and playing, so please slow down in the parks, especially at the crosswalks. We have a Gaga pit, things like that. So kids are out and about, please slow down as you're going through the parks. And that is it for my report, unless there's questions.
Any questions for Sam? Thank you, Sam. So we also have with us Michael Helm. Do you have anything to report on climate smart activities? If you'd like? No? Okay. We're also lucky enough to have our deputy historian, Alan Held. I don't know if you want to comment on anything, Alan?
Other than the 250 coming up and the big parade scheduled in Green Lake.
Yep. It's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Thanks for all your help throughout the year. I know you've been involved with Sue, and a lot of activity. It's been a busy year. Yes, Russ has been great. It's a smart move putting him in charge of that. Thank you. All right, we're going to go right into councilman reports, beginning with Councilman D'Angelo.
Good evening. For the Warwick Valley Humane Society, the shelter is currently inundated with 70 kittens, with 30 of them of age and available for adoption. Therefore, they are in need of lots of supplies to care for them. Canned pate kitten food, canned pate cat food, paper towels, medium-sized vinyl exam gloves, simple green cleaner, and bleach. And also, they need large and small dog biscuits and a thing called Free Bones, which you can get at Amazon and Chewy. And just a reminder to residents that all unleashed dogs not on their owner's property are considered at large in violation of the Town of Warwick dog control ordinance and may be impounded with fines. And all dog owners must license their dogs annually with the town clerk per New York State law. Violations of these laws are subject to court appearance summonses. The summer tips: outside animals must have clean, cool water and shade at all times. Do not allow pets to drink from puddles of standing water. Use the back of the hand to check for hot payment for the dog's paws. Do not over-exercise animals in high temperatures, and never leave any animal attended in any vehicle for any amount of time. In 80-degree weather, the interior of a car can rise 10 degrees in only 10 minutes. Open windows and cracked windows are insufficient. And that's all we have.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Councilman Cole, your report, please.
Thank you. Well, it's rapidly approaching. Weekend after next is our 4th of July celebration in Greenwood Lake. Look in the paper and on the village website for more details, but they're going to be, the parade starts at 11 with the bed race following that, and then fireworks in the evening. Working with the town historian, we're going to have the chain replica. We're going to retrieve it from the library and put it on a float, parade it down Main Street in Greenwood Lake, and that'll culminate our efforts this year for our celebration for the 250th. But things will continue after this. That will also be in the works. So we'll looking forward to that as well. That's all I have.
You found it would be unwise to borrow the one from West Point, I suppose?
They're all linked together. We'd have to bring all 13, and they got guards up there. They really look after that kind of stuff. They get really mad. They got mad when I started picking them up and lifting them, trying to figure out how much they weighed and everything. Oh yeah, they said, hey.
That's incredible. I had a feeling you'd try.
Well, yeah. Well,
Thank you, Russ. Councilman Mattingly, your report, please.
Thank you, Supervisor Dwyer. Checking in with the Village of Warwick and the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce. The 32nd Annual Countryside Garden Tour is Saturday, July 11th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Experience Warwick in full bloom. The 32nd Annual Countryside Gardens self-guided tour invites you to explore 7 unique selections of private gardens. Tickets are available to purchase at Railroad Green on Railroad Avenue on Saturday, July 11th from 8:45 until 2 p.m. Summerfest, the Warwick Merchants Collective presents Summerfest featuring vendors, sales, and unique finds along Main Street and Railroad Avenue. Also on Saturday, July 11th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Main Street and Railroad Avenue in the Village of Warwick. Also, Winslow Therapeutic Center is hiring equine and barn care positions. If interested, please send your resume to info@winslow.org. Florida Chamber of Commerce, the Florida Farmers Market is in full swing, located at the corner of Randallville and Route 17A. Every Tuesday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m., shop local growers, artisans, and more. The Florida Chamber of Commerce Mixer will be on July 21st, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at El Azteca Restaurant, 117 South Main Street in Florida. And the Florida Chamber asked me to mention that the community, to ask the community to continue to shop local during the ongoing infrastructure improvements that continue in the village. Great progress has been made in an effort to make our roads the best in Orange County. Florida business community appreciates your support. Greenwood Lake Chamber of Commerce update: go fast, be loud, have fun. The Greenwood Lake Bed Race will be held right after the 4th of July parade on Saturday, July 4th. Registration will be held at the elementary school parking lot on Waterstone Road during the parade lineup. There's also a ribbon cutting. Greenwood Lake Supply True Value celebrates 21 years on Saturday, June 27th. That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. A barbecue to follow from noon until 3 p.m. And the Pine Island Chamber of Commerce, their monthly meeting is Tuesday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Pine Island Firehouse. And this is a little bit of an early notice. The Pine Island Summer Social is Tuesday, August 11th at 6 p.m. until sundown at Glenwood Green next to Pine Island Park. The 3 winners of the Pine Island Scholarship Award will be honored. And that is my report for this evening.
Great, thank you. Town Clerk Astorino.
We have a bid proposal for a trench compactor from Pro Tool, Inc. for $2,749.99. The second is from Grand Industrial Supply for $5,600, and the last is Montague Tool and Supply for $2,887.75. We also had a bid proposal for building and ground maintenance. We only received one from Warwick Property Solutions, LLC, and his bid proposal was technician hourly rate $35 and technician hourly rate for emergencies $45 an hour. Last, I'd like to let you know that if you're looking for the Board of Elections results for the primary that was just held this last Tuesday, it was on the 23rd. You can check orangecounty.gov for the official results.
Thank you. Attorney Krahulik, I don't know if you have anything to report that you'd like to report to the board. You don't have to, but if you do.
I don't, but I just thought I'd comment on the Ball Farm subdivision. One positive attribute is there will be one affordable lot created as part of that subdivision, so that's a nice thing to report to the public.
It will be the first one after having it in our law, our town code for nearly 20 years. The first one that will successfully be done and taken care of. You'll have an opportunity in a moment to speak. Yeah, it's very unique and quite complicated because when they came up with that portion of the town code, I don't think they thought it through, the procedures, and they kind of left it up to us to figure out. And that's what we've been working through right now, is really trying to fine-tune the details of how that affordable lottery will uphold the spirit and intent of the affordable lot, but also ensure that it can be done successfully and, you know, make sure that somebody really gets it. That's it, Bob? That's it. Okay. All right, my report. The New York State DOT is continuing to do their extensive road work throughout the entire town of Warwick. Most of the work is being done right now in the village of Warwick and the village of Florida. They did just recently pave a very large stretch of roadway throughout the village of Florida and a small stretch of roadway in and around the village of Warwick. There is a complete closure of Galloway Road at right around Larry's Deli, and the detour for buses and heavier industrial traffic sends people down South Street. And there is local traffic. If you know the roads, I'm not going to encourage or say where to go, but if you're a small vehicle, you can generally get around there pretty easily, as long as you drive safely and carefully, because there will be police in the area. We don't want people speeding through these residential neighborhoods as they're trying to get around the intersection. We did meet with the DOT last week and get a full update from them on their long-range plan for the road work that's going to happen in the town. The roundabout is officially, as I've announced before, scheduled for spring of 2027. The bridge replacement project on Route 94 going from Florida to Chester is also scheduled for the spring of 2027. To add more complexity to the matter, they have also scheduled the Belleville Bridge replacement in 2027 as well. We're still working on details with that as far as a detour, whether there will be a detour or won't be a detour. Things are looking positive from that end, but I'm not going to make any official announcement until I get something official from the DOT. But a lot of infrastructure work happening in the town of Warwick, and we're hoping, praying, that as soon as they're done with this work, they never come back for at least another 30 years. That's our goal, keep them out. But we do appreciate that they're doing the work. We know they're trying the best that they can under very difficult circumstances. When you have this many projects occurring across a very large town, you're going to encounter a lot of issues, and that's fine. It's part of the process. I reported at our last meeting that Congressman Pat Ryan has unofficially awarded the town of Warwick $850,000 to construct a new salt barn. This is a salt storage barn in the town, and honestly, we're the largest town in the county, and we have a very undersized salt barn right now. And this is going to go a long way in saving us money and saving us resources and ensuring that we're in a position where we do not have to rely on or hope that salt will get delivered in time. We'll be able to store an adequate amount of salt to cover us for the winter. We've been in too many situations, even in my short time here, where we're running out of salt, running low on salt. Ben is losing more hair. He's going to look like me soon. And, you know, it's really been tough. So that grant is going to go a long way with saving us money and protecting our roads and infrastructure and keeping our residents safe. Paving, we're scheduled right now with the contractor for July, which is at least a month, if not more, sooner than we would usually have our roads paved. Ben is stressing out right now. He doesn't like that I commit to things, but I'm committing him to getting our roads paved in July. He's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. Right, Ben? Absolutely. Okay, good. You're on the record, by the way. So that's a great thing. We want to make sure that our roads get paved early in the summer so that they can get line striped. Our line striping fades over the winter time, so it really doesn't make sense to line stripe roads in October, November, only for it to fade in the salt and the plowing. So if we can get our roads paved in July, they can get line striped right away and create safer roads to travel on. The Wickham Sewer District is progressing extremely well. The preliminary engineering report was approved by the DEC, which means we can move into the next phase of the project, which is putting together bid specifications and nailing down all of the details to go out to bid. The closing with the FC, again, this is a grant-funded project. We secured $8 million in grants and $8 million in zero-interest loans to cover this project. So it is the absolute most affordable project that you could ever do for sewer. We received among the most grant money awarded in that funding round across the entire state of New York. So we really look forward to getting that project off the ground, but it seems like it's progressing extremely well. A multi-use trail is a project along Route 94 that the Village of Warwick and the Town of Warwick have partnered on. This is to secure a 17-acre, or just to construct a similar trail as like the Heritage Trail that runs through Orange County. This trail will connect the Village of Warwick with the Price Chopper ShopRite commercial corridor. And along that trail, the Town of Warwick is in contract to purchase a 17-acre parcel of land along Route 94. It's about midway, and that will create a nice midway park that will be used along this multi-use trail. So that's going well. We're working on easement acquisitions as we speak. Wickham Woodlands Park Planning Grant. The Town of Warwick secured a $20,000 grant to do Wickham Woodlands planning, a park plan. It's one of those things. Wickham Woodlands Park is surrounding the prison property, and it's an incredible 400 acre park that the town owns, and it's got all these great features and great assets, and we want to make sure that there's a really good long-term vision and long-term plan for that entire park property, which will most likely include trail systems, possibly aquatic activities. I know the recreation director is hoping for a beach. I don't know if that's in the cards, but we'll see. So really, it's just the planning phase to get a capital project plan together for the park and make sure that we're doing things that are in the correct order and are prepared for whenever grant funding comes available. As you might recall, the town board retained a company called Verigy. They are an energy auditor company. They've come to our town and they're literally auditing every single building that we have. They're doing a complete energy audit for every building. We have, I think, 75 to 85 buildings, and that includes water pump stations, park buildings, town hall facilities. They're going to go through every single one of them and do a complete and comprehensive energy audit. I believe Michael did the tour with them the other day. They were here for 2 days, going to all the buildings, and from everything I hear, they're doing a great job, and they're going to provide us with a really good report that will not only indicate good cost-saving mechanisms that we can, perform in our buildings, but also what's really important for me and the town board is understanding what investments need to be made in our facilities and in our properties. Because what I find all the time is when you have a boiler, for example, that goes bad, you have to do an emergency replacement of that boiler, when you could conceivably consider other things such as heat pumps that may make more sense in a certain building. Now, I'm not suggesting that we should be using heat pumps, but it's really important for us to understand what is the long-term capital needs of all of our buildings. So they're working on that. By the way, it's a no-cost energy audit on all of our buildings. So huge investment on their part and none on ours. I mentioned at the last town board meeting, but it's worth noting again, we listed 3 big projects, 3 priority projects for us on the IUP, which is the intended use plan for the New York State. And one is the Mountain Lake Park sewer system, the other is Pine Island Water Treatment Plant, and the third is a lead service line inventory for all of our water districts. Battery storage law, this is a big one, and I told the public and the board that we will be launching the proposed battery storage law very soon, and it will be available on the town's website tomorrow. And tonight you will hear us taking lead agency status for seeker purposes, which is Environmental Review Act purposes, and we will also be scheduling our public hearing. The proposed battery energy storage system law establishes one of the strictest zoning regulations in New York State, allowing homeowners and businesses to utilize battery storage technology while effectively prohibiting utility-scale battery storage facilities in the town of Warwick. Key provisions included in this very comprehensive law, by the way, prohibits utility-scale battery storage facilities greater than 1 megawatt hour anywhere in the town of Warwick. It allows only small and medium-sized systems that primarily serve on-site energy needs, with larger systems subject to rigorous review and a special permit. It imposes some of the state's strongest setback requirements, including prohibiting facilities near homes, schools, hospitals, parks, houses of worship, aquifer protection districts, flood zones, and historic resources. It is required, we require enhanced fire safety protection, including compliance with the latest New York State Fire Code, third-party fire inspections, 24/7 monitoring, emergency response planning, and annual first responder training paid for by anyone with that facility. Protects taxpayers and the environment through mandatory liability insurance, decommissioning funds, groundwater protection measures, and strict stormwater controls. Requires an extensive permitting process, including engineering studies, emergency response analyses, environmental review, and proof of financial and operational capacity. Bottom line, this law strongly supports residential and commercial battery backup systems while ensuring that large-scale battery storage facilities are effectively excluded from Warwick. It creates one of the most comprehensive and protective local best zoning laws in New York State, placing public safety, environmental protection, and neighborhood compatibility above all else. So again, all we're doing tonight is scheduling a public hearing that will be on July 23rd, but in the meantime, the local law will be posted on the town's website tomorrow and available for review, and instructions on how you comment on the law will be available. And we strongly encourage the public to review this, comment, let us know your thoughts, let us know your opinions, your ideas. We've spent, I think, 4 or 5 months with a subcommittee working on this law, really basically getting it to a point where we could bring it to the town board. We then went to the town board. Each of the town board members reviewed the law, and they recommended it go out to the public for public hearing. So we are genuinely encouraging the public to comment and let us know your feedback on this local law. It's very important to us, and every comment will be considered and reviewed and also entered into the public record. So that will be available to you tomorrow, and the public hearing will be on July 23rd. The senior barbecue, yes. Oh, it's at 1 p.m. So for some reason, we want to try to alternate town board meetings periodically throughout the year. We have daytime meetings for potentially seniors or others who might only be able to make it to town hall during the day. So that meeting happens to be at 1 o'clock for anyone who's thinking that that's a little strange. I assure you that the next public hearing will be at night, so don't worry. We'll have a daytime meeting and we'll have a nighttime meeting. That public hearing will last at least 2 meetings, if not more, whatever is necessary. The senior barbecue is August 18th with a rain date of August 19th, and it is going to be located at its normal location, which is Union Corners Town Park, and it is for Town of Warwick seniors only. And I consider a Town of Warwick senior to be any senior citizen located within the Town of Warwick School District or Greenwood Lake School District or Florida School District. So you could potentially live in Sugarloaf and you belong to our school districts, you are entitled to go to our senior barbecue. If you live in, I don't know, Washingtonville, I'm sorry, but you cannot come have a free chicken and hot dog. That's for local residents only. Let's see. We've got some PDR applications closing pretty soon, I would say within the next month or so. Hopefully, Bob. Burt Farm, located just outside of the village of Warwick, as well as a Tice Shepherd, which is a lavender farm on Jessup Road. We have submitted previously 2 recent applications on Route 94 South, is one, as well as the Emmerich Tree Farm, which is a 30-acre parcel, and the other one was 24. This Friday, I have a meeting with a potential prospective PDR applicant, and they have a 100-acre farm. I'm going to keep that anonymous until they submit a formal application, and we'll go from there. This time, that concludes my report, and we will open it up to privilege of the floor on agenda items. Now, there's a lot on the agenda. Is it related to the agenda or anything we talked about?
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
I wanted to talk about the drainage problem.
Absolutely. Is it like a neighborhood drainage problem, or are you talking about the public hearing? Yeah.
14
Ball Road?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, perfect. Just, if you can turn the mic on, turn the mic.
191 South Street.
There's a button on there.
Microphone.
I live at 191 South Street Extension, which is right next to the Ball Farm. We have a drainage problem now. My property got flooded last year, and I've been living there for 28 years. My neighbors and I are very concerned that when you put those 12 houses up there, and you put the 2 houses on the side, that there's not gonna be no perk left. I know you just redid the bridge there, but now you have that apartment center going up there, which was all rock, okay? It did absorb some of the water, but now that's all gonna come down to that new stream. Now, behind my neighbor, Rob, who lives across the street, he gets flooded out all the time, even though they had to redo that whole stream area. So our concern is, I just think that has to be revisited, and maybe a process engineer has to come in there and figure out what's gonna go on there, because I don't wanna get flooded out anymore.
When did you get flooded out? Was it before or after?
Last Christmas. And I've been living next to Bobby and John Ball for 28 years. And they used to grow corn there on their farm. And now, then they went to hay, and now it's just raw soil. And it comes down my property like a waterfall, not even during heavy rain. And I'm just concerned that they're gonna build a house next to me, and I understand that people need to come in, and you need to build housing, but a lot of it used to go over there. Now there's gonna be a house there. And I'm just really concerned that there's just not gonna be enough room for all this water to go anywhere but to do damage.
Yeah, so I appreciate you coming here and voicing your concerns and your comments. I just want to point out that the planning board did the site plan review. They looked at all of those different characteristics, and they make the approval based on their engineer, the planner, and what they have, their resources. The town board at this point does not have any ability to cancel the project or say no. And in fact, if we do not move forward with the drainage district, then you will potentially have more to deal with than if we were to move forward with this. This puts the costs of the drainage district on the residents that are coming in there and the developer. If we don't do this, I mean, the project's already been approved by the planning board. The town board can't right now just arbitrarily vote and say, you know what, that's gonna have a negative impact on the neighbor. We have to make sure that that doesn't happen. We couldn't legally do that. We'd get sued out of business. What we're looking at tonight is just having a public hearing on whether or not we should implement the drainage district, which, as we see it, is the only protective measure of nearby residents as well as other taxpayers, and forces the costs of that drainage onto the developer and the residents that will be moving into that area. So I'm not exactly sure what you're hoping that we would do at this point.
I don't want any damage done to me, my property, or my neighbors.
I agree with you 1,000%. So Ben
I've been living in this town for 42 years, and we don't deserve that, and my neighbors don't deserve it, and the guy across the street doesn't deserve it, and we've been through this. You get a heavy, heavy, horrible rain, and we're all gonna have a problem. And I know you just redid that bridge up by Ball's house, but that's not gonna be enough to take care of those apartments up there that aren't gonna take the perk now, even though most of it's stone, coming down that hill, and everything rushing in there at the same time.
I just want to point out those apartments are in the village. There's a very strange, weird
I
line
understand, I live in the
configuration
village.
there.
I used to be the only last house in the village.
It's a crazy,
Now,
it's almost like
everything up on
gerrymandering there, but I'm not
up
going to
there
call it
is now
gerrymandering. But
village, I know.
So what I want to point out, sorry, Ben. Ben is the DPW commissioner. He's also the planning board chairman. He's a
Okay.
great resource. I encourage you to sit down, if you haven't already, I encourage you to sit down with him and talk about your concerns. Unfortunately, you're on the village side, right? Still impacted by what's happening in the town, because town property that's being developed will certainly impact your property. So I'm very much interested in being involved in helping facilitate that. But I strongly encourage you coming tomorrow and sitting down with potentially Ben, our town engineer, going over the plan, seeing what can be done
I'll do
before
that with you,
it
Ben.
starts.
Absolutely.
Mr.
I'm doing this for
Supervisor?
all- I'm doing it, I'm actually here for me and all my neighbors.
Stay around for a few minutes after this meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Supervisor?
And, you know, we're not, nobody's against, like, building houses and more people moving in.
understand, yeah.
We get it.
You want to
know?
protect your investment, protect
But-
your home.
But I've been living there a long time, and I see what happens when you get heavy rains, you know?
Right.
So,
Yes, Bob?
So there's been extensive engineering looking into drainage of the new project. New York State stormwater regulations prohibit a developer and a development from increasing the amount of runoff onto adjacent properties. Not one drop is supposed to, that's supposed to be an increase of one drop. It doesn't stop what's coming downhill already. It's not going to solve the existing problems, but the design of the existing infrastructure and the detention bond are such that it's not supposed to increase the amount of runoff that's flowing downhill and toward your property.
okay.
Yes,
That's
so-
the goal and that's the design that was approved.
There will be a detention pond where none exists now. So that should conceivably help with drainage and runoff, even possibly, and I'm not going to speak for it as a definite, but it could possibly help with runoff that's occurring now.
The house that they're gonna build next to me their basement's gonna get flooded out during the first heavy rain, because that's where most of the rain goes. It comes down like a waterfall. Like a waterfall. It is incredible. My neighbor to the left of me just had a contractor come in and build a drainage ditch for him, so it would help him from it going into his downstairs area, which is a full finished basement, you know, with TVs and carpet and everything else. And I just don't think with the way the perk is gonna be now, all right? And I mean, I look at that and I'm just going with my gut, and I've been living there for 28 years. I don't know where this water's gonna go, because that stream on the other side of my street isn't gonna handle it.
I just want to reiterate,
guarantee you that.
what we're doing tonight will protect your interests.
Okay?
I assure you of that. Without doing this, then the costs, and there's no guarantees that the developer is going to maintain or manage that stormwater runoff once it's done. This is protecting your interests.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
and
appreciate it.
I strongly encourage you to meet with Ben.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
All
great.
right, thank you very much.
No, thank you for coming, appreciate it. Any other comments on the agenda, just specifically agenda items? This can be resolutions, anything that was said by the board, and then we'll have a general. Yeah, you can, of course, yeah. I mean, the public hearing's closed, but we'll still.
I didn't realize that that you guys were gonna get that done in 10 minutes, so the first time I'm late. I'm Megan Cook, 22 Southern Lane. I don't really have anything to say about the sewer part. I mean, it's gonna happen either way, so I would much rather someone else pay for it and not come out of my taxes. I'm wondering about the APO though. Like, have you guys discussed at all, if they do get designated as APO, like, how will the town, the public, and taxpayers benefit from that? Like, is there, like, what is the rationale behind switching that zone as it benefits us? Because we have other farms in the APO, and a lot of them have gone really well. Some of them have not gone so well. I'm not gonna use any names, but we've seen people, you know, take that APO guideline and kind of create their own rules and then gaslight the public about it afterwards, and, you know, have made residents' lives kind of a nightmare. It makes me a little bit nervous that we would go ahead and like rezone this.
Well, they're not in the APO, by the way.
No, they're not.
I think who you're referring to is not in the APO.
Oh, they're not?
They're not in the APO.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't name drop that.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm just a little bit concerned about that.
So two things. Number one, it's a condition of the planning board. And it's a condition of the planning board because it was put into the town code for very specific reasons. The farmers and large farms were encouraged over time to use a cluster subdivision model. The cluster subdivision model is a great model to use because it does preserve open space. And the only way that essentially the board at the time when they did this was able to encourage cluster subdivisions and not just scattering large developments across farm sides is to encourage their participation in the APO. So as I'm sure many people understand, farming is not the easiest thing to do now. We've got an active farmer here, and Kevin Schuback is an active farmer as well. Russ is a retired farmer. The industry is dying. It's getting killed.
Yeah, it is.
So I believe, and I wasn't involved in the town board or the decision-making process when this was done, but I imagine the opportunity to participate in APOs, encouraging cluster subdivisions, was done to ensure that open space is somehow protected in the town of Warwick while farms are going out of business and falling to pressure from development. So it is more of a benefit to the developer to join the APO for sure. They're
Right.
going
Makes
to
land more
get
attractive.
they're going to get additional rights. They're going to get one bonus lot as a result of it.
They
which-
do get an extra lot, okay.
Right,
that was my
which
next
is
question.
already a part of the town code, right? So another thing, if the town board were to sit here and say, you know what, we're not going to allow you to join the APO, the entire planning board process gets compromised, and there's an Article 78 lawsuit, and we will be guaranteed to lose. Because it is in the town code that they have the right and the opportunity to do that. And again, to answer your question, which is a great question, is how does the town benefit? I think the town benefits by the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture is encourage cluster development rather than large-scale developments across entire neighborhoods and entire farms. Encourage creative agritourism, which, as we've seen, is a really tough balancing act from a town, right? You're encouraging tourism, you're dealing with potential police issues, but what's the other option? Farms are going out of business left and right. So Pennings has been a great example of agritourism, right? That, would they be able to survive without the farm stand and without some events and a cidery? I don't know if they would. I don't know. Especially when the 90% of the apple crop died this year.
I know, I feel so bad about that.
I think it was a bigger picture thing and not a case-by-case basis. In this case, obviously, the landowner is going to get a greater benefit by joining the APO, but I think from a greater good standpoint, it's the best thing for the town.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it would be in the district, but then whoever buys that property would still have to then go through, like, share their plans with you guys before they utilize that? Like, let's say someone buys those 23 acres, because there's a lot of different things you can do.
Right.
Under that. Like, they could do, like, the traditional agriculture stuff, but then you also have, like, weddings and other events. Do they have to come before the board?
Oh, yeah,
with-
you
They
can't
do.
just, yeah, you can't just automatically start doing weddings there.
This just gives them the option.
So generally what would happen, and I don't want to tip anybody off to some ideas, but usually you would turn it into a farm stand, right?
Right.
So if you have a farm stand, that creates, you have to have a legal farm stand, one is that is permitted and actually approved by the planning board. So you have to go through a pretty rigorous process to have the farm stand. Once you have a farm stand, you're entitled to having special events to support the farm stand, support the agriculture, but you have to prove that you are growing and selling
10,000
through the
a
farm
year.
stand, a certain percent of what you're growing has to be sold through that in order for you to qualify for those special events. So Pennings, for example,
Right.
the cidery, they're growing apples, turning them into cider and selling it, and that's the vast majority of their business. So there's a lot of requirements, a lot of rules. Joining the APO does give them opportunities that a normal general parcel wouldn't have, but there still is a rigorous process in order to even move forward with that. And that's not automatic.
Right. Okay,
Having a
cool.
farm stand is not automatic.
Okay.
The
That's-
provisions in that, they're not automatic. But inclusion in the APO, as long as they can show $10,000 in gross sales, they are entitled. The special requirement with the planning board also makes it a requirement, that they get into it. And then just having it in the town code to encourage exactly what happened in this case is why.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And I just have one more question. So I know that there's going to be the one affordable house. I understand the criteria to be considered, to be able to purchase that property. I think a lot of people get it kind of mixed up. They hear affordable housing, they don't really understand like what that means.
Yeah.
But I was not able to find, like, how do they determine the price?
Oh, we're working
of
on that literally
You are,
every
so
day.
there's no formula right now.
Every day we're working on that. I
Okay, yeah,
swear.
I didn't realize this was the first one.
There's no
since the laws were
formula.
written.
It's very complex. Again, those who put that in the code didn't really give us much guidance. They gave
Right.
us a little bit of detail. We're trying to develop that process right now, and I would think that within we're probably a couple weeks away from presenting the town board with our option. The attorney, myself, the engineer, we've recruited a couple of banks because another complexity with this is that you have to have a bank that's willing to undertake this loan under these circumstances and deed restrictions, right? Because you have potential resale consequences. So we've actually found a local bank, a credit union that would consider, and they're the only ones. We've gone to about 8 banks, and they're the only ones that would consider taking on these loans. We just were able to secure that a couple weeks ago, so now we're meeting with that bank, really trying to fine-tune the details. And as soon as we fine-tune them, we will let them out to the public. We just don't want to let it out too early and
Yeah,
confuse the hell out of everybody.
Okay, so I couldn't find it because it doesn't exist yet. That
It
makes a
does
lot
not
of sense. It
exist.
just made me feel so much better because
It
I
exists
swear,
in my head, and that's
I look
it.
on the website like exhaustively before I ask anybody. I was like, well, if it's information I can find myself, then I'd rather
Yeah.
do that.
I
Thank
wish
you.
I wish it were that easy.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Any other comments on the agenda items? There will be another opportunity for the public to speak on any general topics if you'd like, but. All right, we've got a lot of resolutions here tonight. Let's move right into them.
I make a motion to waive the 30-day wait period for a New York State liquor license for Agave y Maiz LLC located at 172 Route 94 South, Warwick, New York, 10990.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a shared service intermunicipal agreement between the Town of Warwick and the Town of Montgomery for consulting services for the Town of Montgomery Dial-A-Ride program from June 15th to October 31st, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with the supervisor of transportation for the Town of Warwick, Jennifer L. Crover, for the purpose of consulting the Town of Montgomery Dial-A-Bus from June 15th through October 31st, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with the International Association of Police Chiefs for a town-wide consolidation study.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the donation of approximately $18,000 for time and materials from Royal Pools.
Second.
Just want to mention Royal Pools built a new kiddie pool. They did an amazing job and donated a lot of time and materials to us, and we just wanted to recognize their donation. They can write it off, or I don't know what they want to do, but we want to recognize them because they went well and above and beyond in all the work that they did. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a summer youth employment program work agreement with Orange County commencing on July 6, 2026, and ending on August 14, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve a special event car show on July 1st, 2006 at the Blue Arrow Farm located at 86 Glenwood Road, Pine Island, from 4:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. A certificate of liability is on file in the clerk's office.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to accept and sign proposal for geotechnical engineering services for the Jane Street Bridge replacement from Tectonic Engineering Consultants, geologists, and land surveyors.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the resignation of Jeffrey Benoit as a dial-a-bus driver effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve a film permit for TTMLAP Corporation to film at 124 Cascade Road, Warwick, New York, from July 11th, 2026 to July 31st, 2026, with a fee of $500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Motion to refund the remaining escrow in the amount of $2,938.25 back to Andrea DeFries in regards to a tax parcel, Section 49, Block 1, Lot 62.41, for property located at 23 Wawayanda Road, Warwick, New York. The project has been completed as per dated June 15th, 2026, from the Planning Board Secretary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve a refund of $375 to Kimberly Feehan for canceled swim lessons at Mountain Lake Park.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Motion to accept the bid proposal from Pro Tool, Inc. for a trench compactor in the amount of $2,749.99.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint the following lifeguard for the 2026 Mountain Lake Pool pending Orange County approval.
Second.
Kellen Armistead, lifeguard, at $16 per hour.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve plumbing repairs for Mountain Lake Park bunkhouses in the amount of $10,760.28 payable to Central Water Systems Installations Incorporated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve the following resolution, whereas the Town Board of the Town of Warwick and the County of Orange, New York, hereafter the Board, is considering adoption of a local law amending Chapter 164 zoning to the Town Code for the purpose of regulating battery energy storage systems, hereafter the action. And whereas the regulations found in 6 NYCRR and 617.3A of Seeker require that no agency may undertake, fund, or approve an action until it has complied with the requirements of Seeker, and whereas the action constitutes a Type 1 pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.4B and 2, the adoption of changes in the allowable uses within any zoning district affecting 25 or more acres in the district, and whereas the town board has identified that no other agencies are involved in this action. Now therefore it be resolved that the town hereby assumes lead agency for the status of the review of action and classifies the action as Type 1, and now therefore be it resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to file this resolution in the town clerk's office and make it available for review by the public or agencies upon request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to include a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 5 of 2026 entitled, "A Local Law Amending Chapter 164 Zoning to Regulate Battery Energy Storage Systems, BESS." Said public hearing to be held on July 23rd, 2026.
At 1 p.m.
At 7,
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. or soon thereafter, may the matter be heard.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve special event permit for Bloodline Sports for a 5K cancer run walk at State School Road from Hudson Sports Complex to the farm on State School Road on July 4th, 2026, from 7 a.m. until 12 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Warwick has before a draft local law entitled A Law to Amend Town Code Chapter 164 entitled Zoning to change the zoning designation of a certain real property located at Kings Highway known as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 from the office industrial to suburban medium density. And whereas this action is subject to seeker, and whereas the town board, as lead agency in a uncoordinated review, has prepared and approved an environmental assessment form and has caused the prepared EAF Part 1 and Part 3, and whereas the following due notice to the town board has conducted a public hearing on the said proposed local law and heard all the persons interested in the subject matter thereof. Now therefore be resolved as follows. 1, Town Board adopts Part 1 and 2, and Town Board adopts Part 2 and 3 of the EAF and authorizes the supervisor to sign the same. And after considering all the information presented to the board, including the EAF, the Town Board adopts the negative declaration attached hereto.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Warwick has before it a proposed local law entitled A Local Law to Amend the Town Code Chapter 164 entitled Zoning to change the zoning designation of certain real property located at Kings Highway and known as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 of the Office Industrial, OI, or Suburban Medium 2, Suburban Medium Density, SM. And whereas the negative declaration under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act has been adopted in regard to the proposed local law, and whereas all referrals required by law have been made upon the proposed local law, and whereas the following due notice to the town board held a public hearing on the proposed local law, and whereas the owner of said premises has offered to convey a portion of the premises to the town of Warwick by effectuating a lot line change to be approved by the planning board of the town of Warwick. Now therefore it be resolved as follows, that the town board hereby adopts the following local law. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Warwick as follows. The Town of Warwick Local Law Number 2 of the year 2026, a local law to amend the Town Code Chapter 146 entitled Zoning to change the zoning designation of certain real property located at, is that, what's that supposed to be? No number? Do we know the number?
Bob wrote it. Maybe you
Section 94.
And it's chapter 164.
Chapter 164. Okay, Town Code Chapter
Did you
164.
What's the number?
Bob, do you know?
Oh, there is no number.
Oh.
It's an unimproved
This is
lot.
the one I
There's
circled.
no street number.
Thank you for the clarification. At no number Kings Highway and known as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 from Office Industrial Park, OI District, to Suburban Medium Density Zoning District, SM District. Section 1, Purpose. The purpose of this local law is to promote the health, safety, and welfare of the town of Warwick by amending the town zoning code to change the zoning designation of certain real property located at Kings Highway and known as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 on the tax map of the town of Warwick from Office Industrial OI to Suburban Medium Density SM. Section 2, Municipal Home Rule Law. This law is adopted pursuant to the provisions of the Municipal Home Rule Law, Section 10, L2AL, which grants local governments the authority to enact local laws regarding the public health, safety, and welfare. To the extent of this provision of this local law are in conflict with state law, the town board hereby asserts its intention to supersede same pursuant to the Municipal Home Rule. Section 3, Amendment of Code. C, the zoning designation of a portion of certain real property located at Kings Highway identified on the Town of Warwick tax map as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 is hereby changed from Office Industrial OI to Suburban Medium Density MSM. D, Town Code Section 164-32 Zoning Districts Map is hereby amended to revise the zoning districts map by changing the zoning designation of the property known as Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2 from Office Industrial OI to Suburban Medium Density SM. Section 4, severability. If any part or provision of this local law or the application thereof to any person or circumstances be adjudged invalid by any court of competent jurisdiction, such judgment shall be confined to its operation to the part or provision or application directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment shall have been rendered, and shall not affect or impair the validity of the remainder of this local law. Section 5, effective date. This local law shall become effective upon filing with the Secretary of State of the State of New York subsequent to having been duly adopted by the Town Board. 2, that the local law shall be effective upon the completion of a lot line change and the filing of an approved map with the Orange County Clerk, and shall be filed in the office of the Secretary of State in Albany as required by applicable law.
The clerk will call a roll call vote.
Supervisor Dwyer?
Aye.
Councilman Cole?
Aye.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Aye.
Councilman Schuback is absent. Councilman Mattingly?
Aye.
Let the record show 4 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
Thank you. I make a motion to waive special event fee for Bloodline Sports 5K Cancer Run Walk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Motion to adopt the following resolution regarding the request for participation in the Town of Warwick Agricultural Overlay Protection District. Whereas the Town of Warwick has adopted a zoning code known as the 2002 Law of the Town of Warwick, adopted on January 24th, 2002, and whereas the town zoning code contained within the provisions for an agricultural overlay protection district, APO, district is one of the purposes for which was to recognize and codify the importance of the agriculture in the future of the Town of Warwick and the welfare of its citizens. And whereas the town said zoning code established an overlay district as shown on the Town of Warwick Agricultural Overlay Protection qualifying map area parcels, which should qualify for the benefits of the APO district. And whereas the town code section 164-74.3.b sets forth the applicability of the APO district lands within the Town of Warwick, and whereas paragraph 5 of section 164-47.3.b provides for a mechanism for landowners to apply for the benefits of the said district. Whereas pursuant to the procedure set forth, the Town of Warwick has received an application for participation on the proper form submitted to the town clerk as required from the Ball Farm LLC and Honeycrisp Developers LLC, Warwick, New York 10990, for a 40.109 plus or minus acre parcel known as Section 53, Block 1, Lot 37.2 on the tax map in the Town of Warwick. And whereas the Warwick Town Board has determined that this particular parcel is a parcel which meets the requirements set forth for the inclusion of the APO district as a participating parcel. Now therefore it be resolved that the tax map Section 53, Block 1, Lot 73.2 of the tax map of the Town of Warwick and belonging to the Ball Farm LLC and Honeycrisp Developers LLC is hereby declared eligible to participate under the provisions of the APO district and is entitled to all the benefits contemplated thereof. And be it further resolved that the appendix of the zoning law updated to reflect that the above described parcel shall be considered and included as a participating parcel in the APO district. Be it further resolved that the APO district overlay district qualifying area map be so marked to show that the above parcel as a participating parcel within said district.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following order establishing a drainage district in the town of Warwick upon the petition of Honeycrisp Developers, LLC, P.O. Box 233, Sugarloaf, New York, 10918, subject to the town engineer review of map and maintenance plan. A petition in this matter for the creation of a drainage district having been duly presented to the town board, together with the necessary map and plan attached thereto, and a resolution having been duly adopted by the town board on June 25, 2026, for the public hearing of all persons interested in the matter at 7 o'clock in the p.m. at the Town Hall on June 25, 2026, and hearing by the said board having been duly held at such time and place, and the engineer having rendered a recommendation in favor of the required district, and no one having opposed the application, and the maximum amount proposed to be expended for such improvement to be installed in such district, including acquisition price, is $0. The annual cost to the typical property owner will be approximately $523, and the town board, having taken the matter under advisement and after due consideration thereof, and it having been on June 25, 2026, duly resolved to determine the following such hearing: that the petition herein was signed and acknowledged or proved as required by law and otherwise sufficient, that all property and property owners within the proposed district were benefited thereby, and all property and property owners benefited were included within the limits of the proposed district, and that it was in the public interest to grant in whole the relief sought, it having been then and there further duly resolved that the establishment of such district as proposed be approved, and application to the State Department of Audit and Control at Albany, New York, for permission to create such district not being required because the cost is not to be financed by bonds, notes, or other evidences of indebtedness. It is hereby ordered that the drainage district be established in the town of Warwick, Orange County, New York, which district is to be of the following description and boundaries, to wit: as more particularly set forth on the map entitled Ball Farm Cluster Subdivision Drainage District Improvement Plan attached hereto, be it also shown on the current town tax map as a portion of section 53, block 1, lot 37.2, and it is further ordered that the homes within the drainage district be assessed costs on a per-unit basis by using an equivalent residential unit methodology, and it is further ordered that the town clerk shall cause a certified copy of this order to be duly recorded in the office of the clerk of the County of Orange, New York, and such clerk shall also, within 10 days after the adoption of this order, cause a certified copy thereof to be filed in the office of the State Department of Audit and Control at Albany, New York.
The clerk will do a roll call vote.
Supervisor Dwyer?
Aye.
Councilman Cole?
Aye.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Aye.
Councilman Schuback is absent. Councilman Mattingly?
Aye.
Let the record show 4 ayes, 1 absent.
Thank you. The motion is carried.
Motion to schedule a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 5 of 2026 entitled A Local Law Amending Chapter 164 Zoning to Regulate Battery Energy Storage Systems, BESS. Said public hearing to be held on July 23rd, 2026 at 1 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a memorandum of agreement with the CSEA for building and ground maintenance management.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the resignation of Robert Chocalo as full-time temporary building maintenance mechanic effective June 24th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept bid proposal and authorize supervisor to sign a contract for all on-call services for building and grounds maintenance management from Warwick Property Solutions, LLC, for a period from June 26, 2026 through to December 31st, 2026, in the amount proposed in submitted fee schedule.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
We missed one. Number 273.
No.
No.
We did it already. It was the
It was a duplicate.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for paying attention.
Right.
Okay, at this time, we'll open it up to privilege of the floor on any general topics.
I had got a chance to meet the team from Verigy after their audit, and they were extremely complimentary of Mr. Helm, his knowledge and his assistance through that energy audit. So I just wanted to mention that to you, Michael.
This is unmatched dedication.
No doubt. They
He's
could
our
not say enough good things.
He's
about
our
him.
highest paid volunteer. I can assure you of that. Doing a great job. Thank you, Tom. No one else? Okay. Our next town board meeting is going to be Thursday, July 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m. And as always, it may be preceded by a workshop as early as 90 minutes prior to this meeting. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thanks for coming, everybody.